What up, everybody? Talon Williams of Movement Radio here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and today we're going to talk all about two things that I really enjoy. That is professional wrestling and video games. And when you talk about some of the greatest video games of all time, including professional wrestling games, there's a plethora that you could choose from. I mean, obviously we could start off with the obvious number one, which is WWF No Mercy. Yeah, I know WCW did it better according to some people. Okay, and that's fine. But yeah, WCW NWO Revenge was also a very great game on the N64. A game that I really did enjoy, and I don't think a whole lot of people did, but that was In Your House, There Goes the Neighborhood. To me, I just thought this game was just fun to play because it was WWF not taking themselves so seriously, and you can just have fun with all the wrestlers that you were able to play with on the game. And I don't give a damn what none of y'all say. This was a pro wrestling game, and it was one of the best pro wrestling games that you could have. I mean, it's a greatest hit for a reason. I mean, yeah, these games are obviously some of the best wrestling games of all time. But unfortunately, we're not going to be talking about the good wrestling games. We're going to be talking about the bad ones. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to count down the top 5 bad pro wrestling video games. And when I mean bad, I mean these games absolutely sucked. Let's get it started. Number 5 on my list might be a bit controversial because I actually know people who do actually like this game, but it's WWF Attitude. And yeah, Attitude and Warzone were kind of similar in a sense because the control scheme was very clunky. The wrestlers kind of moved very strangely. And it was difficult to do moves in the ring. Not to mention the fact that every single time you try to Irish whip somebody, you end up running alongside with them and stuff. It was a whole lot easier to play on the PlayStation than it was to play on the N64, because really the N64 was only good for like the THQ games such as No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 and WCW World Tour and Revenge. But Attitude, for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, but for some reason WWE just didn't understand the concept of, how to make a good video game back then. I mean, yeah, was it okay for a wrestling game, I guess, but according to all the other video games that are out there, wrestling related, this game just didn't hit it for me. I'm sorry. So it's not as bad as the other 4 on the list. So that's why I have it at number 5. This game sucked. WCW Backstage Assault. Now you would think, okay, that means that they're going to give us more, leeway to go backstage and go do this stuff and stuff. But eventually it's going to end up back in the ring, right? No, very rarely, if ever, did any match end inside the ring. Every single match outside of the ring, they usually didn't even use the ring that much. They didn't utilize countouts. There was no tag team match selection that you can pick from. And the game was clunky. The game control was just crap. And it was very difficult to perform certain moves because you had to wait on a certain thing. It was just an all around just bad game. Funny enough, this was WCW's last video game before they went out of business in 2001. So I guess, bad end to the video game series like the bad end for WCW. Kind of apropos if you think about it. You guys knew this was coming. Backyard Wrestling 2, There Goes the Neighborhood. Yes, I mean, anything associated with the Insane Clown Posse is probably not going to get love or anything like that. No disrespect to Shaggy and Jay, but I mean, let's be honest. This game sucked, bruh. It really did. It came around at a time when the backyard wrestling craze was the big thing that took over America. And the problem with that is that a lot of kids who were very untrained, didn't know how to fall, didn't know how to bump, didn't know how to do certain things in wrestling. A lot of kids got hurt, and it was all due to the backyard wrestling phenomena in which Violent J and Insane Clown Posse more than happily jumped on board the bandwagon and decided to make this game. And all the video game was just Insane Clown Posse, all their friends at Psychopathic Records, a bunch of underground wrestlers that not many people remember or heard of, and a bunch of adult film stars. And that's it. Good selling point, guys. In all honesty, though, the game was fun to play if you're just looking for something to just pass the time, but clunky controls. I mean, yeah, the using the elements around you was a cool idea that other video games adopted later. But as far as just the game itself and the story mode and the career mode, quote unquote, that it had, this was a shit game. I'm sorry, it was horrible. So the next game I actually had to look up, and I actually had to find out what was so bad about this video game Well, two things. Hulk Hogan, and it was a Kinect game. This is Hulk Hogan's main event. It came out for the Xbox 360, and it was using the Kinect technology for the players to play the game. And all you had to do was just sit there and listen to Hulk Hogan, who was your coach, and you are basically, you act out body slams and act out suplexes and punches and kicks and all these different things. I guess they were trying to get people to move and actually utilize the wrestling moves and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, the replayability of this game was so awful, not to mention that the motion sensor wouldn't work correctly if it wasn't calibrated right. You had to do multiple calibrations in order to get it to work. So yeah, this game doesn't age well, especially with it. First of all, it's a Kinect game, and Kinect games are never good. That's first and foremost. And anything associated with Hulk Hogan at the time wasn't really perceived that well either. So yeah, I would say this Hulk Hogan main event, that's probably the second worst video game of all time, wrestling-wise. Do I really need to tell you guys what number one is? The number one worst wrestling game of all time is this. Not because it was WWE, not because they didn't have a good story progression or stuff like that, but let's be honest, man, this game was buggy. This game was clunky. The submission feature was crap, and it was just so bad. This video game, this particular wrestling game was so bad, they didn't even do a 2K21. They pretty much canceled 2K21 because of how bad 2K20 was. Now, granted, it was in the year 2020. The pandemic was going on. There was a lot of other issues that was going on. But let's be honest, man. Anybody who is a gamer will honestly tell you that WWE 2K20 is without a doubt the most horrible wrestling game. This is definitely WWE's worst video game out of all of them. All of them. And I played Battleground. Okay? But of course, as always, that's just my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What do you think the worst wrestling video game of all time is? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you guys have been giving us. We thank you guys. We love you guys. And we'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm Talon Williams. This is Movement Radio. God's plan.